Today we're taking a quick look at the PC that I'm using for gaming and video editing. This is my main rig. It's nothing crazy, and honestly, it's mostly a bang for the buck type of component build. I'm running the Ryzen 7700X along with my trusty RTX 3060 12GB GPU from EVGA. I miss EVGA. Anyways, the Ryzen 7000s, especially the 7700 and the X model, are really super high value Ryzen 5 AM5 CPUs in my opinion, bringing 8 cores and 16 threads, right around 5 GHz, depending on your PBO and overclocking preferences, is plenty for gaming and video editing. The 7700 or the X model are super good value on the secondhand market as well. Either one of these CPUs is definitely going to beat out most of the 9000s in terms of value, in my opinion. The 7700 CPU doesn't require anything crazy in terms of cooling, and it doesn't use a ton of energy either. For my build, I did end up going with an X series CPU. It does get quite warm, and it does use quite a bit more energy in order to make it run, which is why I ended up enabling eco mode and setting the CPU to about 65 watts TDP. That makes it super easy to cool and drastically reduces the CPU temperatures. The overall performance only decreased by maybe 3-5% in some applications, and that trade-off is more than worth it for me. That being said, I did still opt to cool this CPU by 360mm Be Quiet AIO. I had it laying around, so that's what I chose for the cooling solution. Honestly, I probably could have gotten away with one of the Hyper 212 clones, something like a $30-$40 cooler, but since I had this one, I used it. I thought it looked cool as well. I do, however, have the option if I want to flip the 105 TDP mode back on, or enable PBO, or do things like set the scaler to 10x, overclocking the chip. The Be Quiet Pure Loop cooler that I'm running will definitely be needed for keeping those temps in check, so it is nice to have. As for my GPU selection, like I said, I'm running the trusty RTX 3060 12GB GPU, and it's still decent in my opinion for 2025. It is slower than the 4060 and the 5060, but we do have quite a bit of video memory there, and we do have DLSS support. In the games that support it, we have the newer convolutional neural network model, which is really going to help because you can kind of run DLSS balanced and get away with what used to be quality picture at a better FPS range. For me, I tend to play most of my games at 1440p medium or high, depending on the game. Having access to DLSS, like I said, or FSR for the games that don't support DLSS is super handy for keeping this GPU relevant. When you pair that with the 12 gigs of video memory, it really helps out quite a bit. As for video editing, I mainly use DaVinci Resolve. While you can definitely slap in a 5090 into a rig for video editing, most people, especially if you're recording on a smartphone like I am, you're just not going to need that. My 4K projects, even at 60 FPS, work just fine with this GPU. The export times are super reasonable, and I never have lag when I'm scrubbing through footage, which is really important. As for my memory selection, backing up the CPU and GPU in this system, I'm running 32 gigabytes of G.Skill DDR5 6000 CL32 memory, of course with the Expo mode enabled, on my Asus TUF Gaming B650 motherboard. Asus TUF Gaming B650 motherboard. I like this motherboard because it had plenty of USB connectivity, Wi-Fi 6 support, and the price was right. It worked out quite well for my build in terms of value, and I'm happy with it overall. As for the case selection, I ended up using a Be Quiet Dark Base 700. This case is in the white version. Be Quiet had sent this over for review a while back, and I really liked the simplicity and how large it was. I always used to pick black colored cases, but lately I've been trying the white ones. I find that they do reflect the RGB a little bit better, so I've been kind of getting into that lately. It's a solid overall case with good air cooling and water cooling support if you're into that, even if it does make my GPU look a little tiny in terms of build sizes. In terms of the SSD or storage space, my main drive is an Orico IG740 Pro NVMe PCI Express solid state drive. Even though this drive doesn't utilize DRAM, it does utilize TLC NAND, and it's got host memory buffer technology, so it's plenty fast for editing and gaming. I haven't noticed any weird slowdowns, even with the drive at about 60-70% full. Oracle had actually sent over the 2 TB version, so that's what I'm using. I've got plenty of space for my main operating system drive. I do have a couple of Steam games on here, and my current video projects. As you can see though, I have 4 SATA SSDs connected to this PC as well. That's mainly for the video projects that I'm kind of taking a longer time to produce, and extra data that doesn't necessarily need to actually be on a faster drive. SATA storage is still cheap and plentiful, and it barely uses any extra power. It's significantly better than running hard drives in my PC. This entire system is powered by the Be Quiet Straight Power 12 1000 watt PSU. Be Quiet had sent this over a while back now, and I thought this would be a good selection because eventually I do know I'm going to upgrade the GPU, and I've got quite a bit of headroom, just in case I decide to get a 5090 or something. You can never have enough FPS in Dota 2. Hopefully someday I'll be able to get over 9000 FPS and still manage to lose really quickly. Anyways, this is my current gaming build. I use it for gaming, video editing, and general computing throughout the day. It's nothing crazy, but it definitely gets the job done. It looks decent, and the component selection isn't anything exotic. They're all easily attainable, and you can buy most of this stuff used if you look around. Let me know in the comments section what you're running, if you've got a dual purpose rig like this, or if you're looking to get into video editing, streaming, or gaming, all that kind of stuff. If you got any value out of this one, definitely go ahead and smash that like button and get subscribed to the channel and ring that bell for notifications. PC gaming and the occasional home lab video is what I do around here. Until next time, keep on gaming.